Hi, I'm Elise and welcome to Witch Way. Today's video delves into the witch lore of The Reckoning. Released in 2021, this horror adventure was directed by Neil Marshall and stars Charlotte Kirk as Grace Haverstock, Stephen Waddington as Squire Pendleton, and Sean Pertwee as Judge John Moorcroft. In 1665, the Great Plague is ravaging England. Grace's husband has died and she struggles to keep her holdings. After rebuffing her landlord's advances, he spreads the rumour that she is a witch. The same witch hunter who burned her mother is now back for Grace, and she must try to escape her desperate situation and save her child, who is in the hands of the said landlord. The opening dialogue written places the setting of our film. England, 1665, year of the Great Plague. The pestilence has spread across the land, killing tens of thousands, destroying entire families and communities in its wake. Only a lucky few are spared a slow and agonizing death. The people are gripped by fear and paranoia, desperate to find something to blame, convinced the plague is the work of the devil and his acolytes. This is the time of the witch finders, dedicated servants of God thriving on superstition and empowered by the state to arrest, interrogate, and execute anyone they suspect of witchcraft. The plague spread easily through dense populations, and people needed an outlet for their fear and misunderstanding, and blaming a witch seemed a rational explanation. Well, witches and the servants of the devil, cats. We see this in the film as there are several dead cats on display when Grace arrives in town. In the years leading up to the Black Plague, a papal bull was released by Pope Gregory IX, known as Vox in Rama. It associated cats with a satanic sect, and it's believed that many people killed off cats due to this, which led to an increase in vermin population. Fleas from rats carried the plague, so this was believed by some to actually have assisted in the rapid spread of the bubonic plague, though cats themselves could also carry fleas, so this theory is debated. Fresh outbreaks over the years spread paranoia, and this fueled the success of the Witchfinders. Our Witchfinder, John Moorcroft, is obviously inspired in appearance by the infamous Witchfinder General Matthew Hopkins. In his The Discovery of Witches from 1647, he describes his most successful form of torture, sleep deprivation, also known as waking the witch. We see this method used on Grace on day one. This and the succeeding days are marked by images from the Witch Hunter's Guide titled Compendium Maleficarum from 1608. Each day also brings with it a new form of torture and humiliation. As instructed in the earlier and most well-known Witch Hunter's Guide, the Malleus Maleficarum, Grace is stripped and searched for marks of the devil. People used to believe that witches lay with the devil, and in doing so, he would leave his mark upon them. It seems Grace herself believes this, as we see her apparently tempted by the devil in a series of dream sequences. The Malleus also suggests daily torture to extract confessions, and two of the items we see were apparently used on those accused of witchcraft. The Witch's Bridal, or Scold's Bridle, a metal device placed over the head and muffling the mouth, was used to silence curses and defiant prisoners. The bridle was apparently used as a punishment for a variety of crimes, though I will link an article below establishing how it was used for witches. We also see them use the Pear of Anguish, a device which was inserted into the mouth or lower orifices and expanded, though few accounts of this device are believed to be accurate. After her torture ordeal with this device, Grace is handed her sentence.
Therefore I sentence you to death for the grievous crime of malfeasance.
The term of magical act which causes harm, and we can't have a tale of an accused witch without somebody uttering the line from the King James Bible.
shalt not suffer a witch to live!
Before the closing credits, we are given some historical facts, starting with an estimation of 500,000 women executed of witchcraft in Europe and North America. Though women were accused of witchcraft more often, this did not mean that men weren't, and this figure gives no date range. The total number of executions of witchcraft can never really be known for sure due to lost documents and many trials not even being recorded at all. One victim we do know of is mentioned next, as hers was a pivotal if terrible case. It reads, "The last woman to be executed in Britain was Janet Horne. She was stripped naked, covered in tar, and burned to death in 1727. She was indeed the last person to be legally executed for witchcraft, and this horrible sentence described was carried out. As this took place in Scotland, where the practice of witchcraft was considered heresy, she was indeed burned. As mentioned at the start, we know Grace's mother was burned at the stake, and Grace is handed the same sentence. As this took place in England, where witchcraft was considered a felony, her sentence would have more likely been hanging, as we see of one of the previous victims in the film. This movie scores for history and, like the film Aquelarre, which I reviewed previously, shows how false these accusations were. However, this film didn't feel as real. Everything was a bit too clean and made up, and our heroine seems to have little to no after effects of her physical harm. Sure, she was resilient, but even sitting down would be painful after her final torture. Some of the dream scenes also seem to be overly sexualized, contrasting with her situation, though I did like the turn it took after her sentencing. Though I wasn't a huge fan of this film, I did enjoy another film that Neil Marshall has directed, the 2019 Hellboy, which I have also reviewed in my Witch Lore review videos, so maybe check that one out as well. Let me know what you thought of these films or any other witchy recommendations for my channel. If you like what I do, please share this video, leave a like, and subscribe here for future content. As always, thank you very much for watching here on Witch Way.